Okay, so I finished the game basically, but there's still a few more things I kind of want to check out. You know, I want to like fill up the journal pages. I also want to like check out this little finishing touch here. Now, something I felt like I didn't do yet actually is click on the school. There was an option to click on the school, I think, in this chapter, which I didn't do before. So what if I do that? My muse, Venus, might not be the fight in the traditional sense, but she still can help you guys out by offering a wide range of buffs and debuffs in battle. Wow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But how exactly do these status changes work in a physiological sense? Well, as with most things, these can be explained through a basic understanding of certain chemical components, as well as their effect on the body over time. He reaches under the table, pulling out a test tube rack filled with powdery substances of varying color. These samples were extracted from Venus last night. From a purely cellular standpoint, they essentially function like haploids and released in the air by my muse. Not like the spores of a mushroom, really. However, unlike mushroom spores, these haploids have several unique characteristics that make them ideal for a combat setting. First is the method of transfer. Unlike the somewhat lax dispersal of traditional spores, these cells are shot in a constant stream of compressed air. Just like how you clean up your computer, I guess. This allows Venus to essentially target whoever is getting buffed or debuffed. Secondly, the haploid cellular membrane dissolves instantly after coming in contact with almost any oily surface, namely the skin. This is why the buffs Venus gives you always work, but depending on the enemy's physiological makeup, debuffs may not be effective at all. What's more, the membrane of Venus's haploid cells are coated in a powdery substance completely unique to her. I'm still looking into it, but I'm pretty sure this powder rapidly expedites your metabolic rate. So in layman terms, these buffs are all fast-acting and mostly effective in all types of organisms. Which brings you to the third distinction. This one. This really is something, Olive. Instead of genetic material, these haploids carry fast-acting chemical components that affect the target almost immediately after making contact with the skin. Stimulants. Analgesic? I don't know. Hallucinogens. It doesn't really matter. Venus can get in your system almost as soon as I'm aware that you're in trouble. Isn't that sweet? He begins pulling out test tubes and holding them out for me to see. First up is a glass tube of hot pink powder. Epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, is a common stimulant. Works best on Ash and Andy, boosts his offensive power and innovation, a classic buff. Next is a vial filled to the brim of light blue powder. This is the one I always end up having to use on a meal. It's basically morphine, mostly. Nothing too special, it's pretty much just to make sure you can take a hit or two without falling over. She grabs a lime green test tube and holds it up to the light, grinning. Your mother, Dolly, is familiar with this one, I'm sure. Dimethyltrimethyltryptamine, most commonly referred to as DMT. Very popular with the sit on the bench and think about our place in the universe crowd. For obvious reasons, I tend to avoid using such strong psychedelics against our enemies. Can you imagine if I misfire something like this and hit one of you? It would be an absolute disaster. Still, it's there if we ever need to trap something in its own mind for a couple of minutes or so. That's interesting because that's the entire game, but trapping its own mind. So again, that's a pretty cool concept, but I don't know. Of course, to them, it would feel like they've been trapped inside their head for months, but that much is obvious. It's just strange debuff. Okay. Hello, Jacob. You know this game, really? Well, I'm actually I'm done with this game, actually. I'm just exploring some extra content that I might have missed. Kind of like, maybe 100% completing it, but, you know, probably not going to do it at the moment. I'm probably going to end soon. Probably going to explore more on my own off-screen. And probably next time I stream, I'll probably check out Finishing Touch. I think that's extra content. I don't know. Guess we'll see. Anyways, I'm sure you get the point. Venus shoots chemicals, and those chemicals do stuff. Hope by now it's clear as how useful can be to you. So you please start that. No, not yet. But a weird thing to lie about. But whoop. I wonder how this affects things. Thanks to Andy's brisk walking speed, the two of us make it back to Judas quicker than we normally would. Hey there, sexy. Guess who's home? Andy slams herself into the door as she tries to move through it. What the heck? Why is it locked? She jiggles with the handle and pushes her shoulder against the door a few times. Judy, it's Andy. Why'd you lock the door? Sis? We hear a small click from behind the door. Judith? Andy rushes inside and disappears around the corner. I don't see either of them as I enter the house. All I see is a journal, laying open face on the coffee table. Okay. It's pretty stupid to lie to your friends, Oliver. I gotta get 100% completion, okay, Judith? What was that? It was an icon. But it's even dumber to lie to yourself. Hey! Goodbye, Phil. Try again. Alright. Okay, so if you do that, it does unlock a little extras. Little scene. And of course, you know, again, all these little scenes are in reference to the fact that Oliver is just asleep. He's just having a dream. It's just a thing where he just wakes up. He's like, whoop, that was just a dream, bro. Then if it was real. Okay, so it was this, except I pressed regress immediately, but I guess we should explore what she says here as well. It was last summer after all those stupid jellyfish washed up on the beach. Where am I? Where's my aunt? Who are you? God, please help me. It's like this, Oliver. Please help me, I love you, please help me. It's like I'm a party filled with tons of people. I don't want to die. Except when I look around, I'm the only one there. I'm scared, please let go. Even though I hear voices, even though I hear noise, I'm the only person there. I don't want to die. I keep thinking, where is everyone? Where's this noise coming from? Why am I bleeding? Am I dead? So I do everything I can to try and find another person. Scared. And then when I do, when I finally find someone who will talk to me. I love you, let me go. All I can say is that I had a seizure. I don't know, all I know is about seizures is that they're scary, that they're deadly. Please. And there's no more party, there's no more people. There's only this new reality your frame mind has built for you. My love, I just want to leave. There's only death. Okay. Alright. I don't know, okay. Weird. That was like a thing, but it wasn't supposed to be part of it? Ah, weird. Anyway. Anyway, it was last summer after all the stupid jellyfish washed up on the beach. Up until then, I guess I've always been good about never letting you guys see me sweat. But there was just so many of these gooey little bastards that day. And when I saw that big football-shaped one stuck in the sand... God, screaming is such a useless reflex. All it does is give other people a chance to learn how weak you really are. Before I knew it, all of you were just staring at me. I knew Ash would never let me live it down. And, I don't know. I thought maybe if I ran up and punted the thing, then I could pass that lame display of mine as some kind of battle cry or something. Lord knows what, that jellyfish was already as big as a damn football anyway. So I gripped my teeth, thought of Ashton, and just rushed in. And, well, it was only a couple seconds after the kick landed that I was certain how stupid all this was. There's no pushback. It was like his body was actually made out of jelly. That's the thing I remember most. Me being ankle deep in some brainless freak. It was horrible. The stinging started after that, I think. Then the swelling, and the crying. I didn't even have time to be ashamed. Shame alone would have been a luxury. I just didn't want to die. Jellyfish, as far as I know, yeah, jellyfish can be dangerous, right? They have like poison, I think. I know Judy called the ambulance after my leg got all red, but is it true that if I just ran off and took some lady's beer cooler? Is that where all the ice came from? Because that's apparently what kept me from passing out. At least according to that guy in the hospital. Violet saved my skin that day, didn't she? It makes all this shit even worse, doesn't it? Okay, interesting. So this is like a variation. This is like reality. Because when I press regress, it was like the same story except it was in the underworld. She kicked like a big jellyfish, like blobby siren or whatever. But this is like a real jellyfish that she kicked. That was even worse, isn't it? Alright, let's see. So there's a few more scenes I can get with her. So let's stay a while and listen. Hey Violet, you do a lot of lucid dreaming, right? Yes, indeedy. So that means you have pretty strong control over your dreams, correct? That's essentially true. It's not perfect control, but it's close enough. How come? I was just wondering. If it's possible for you to still have nightmares then. Well, it's funny you would bring that up. Avoiding nightmares is actually the exact reason I started learning how to lucid dream. No kidding. I had a pretty traumatizing one back when I was 16. It went on for what felt like months. It was so long and miserable that I decided I never want to lose control of my dreams again. So I did some research, found out about lucid dreaming, and now every dream I have is like my own little cognitive playground. And now there's essentially zero risk being trapped in my headspace. It's great! Unless, you have some kind of traumatic experience that you're trying to suppress and it leaks out into your headspace and becomes black space. Anyway. Wait, it felt like it went on for months? This might be pretty insensitive for me to ask. So don't have to, I'll understand it. This might be pretty insensitive for me to ask, so you don't have to tell me you don't want to. But what was your nightmare about? Oh, don't worry. I don't mind talking about it. I've been lucid dreaming for so long that I'm basically over it now. Essentially, the dream was just me walking through these all weird yellow rooms. Yes, the back rooms. I could tell I was in a building of some sort, but nothing about the building made any sense. Because no matter how long I walked, I never found any doors or windows. It was just the same yellow room, repeating itself over and over again like a maze. It's the word maze specifically that triggers it in me, a primal fear that spins inside my guts like millipedes. And the entire time I was walking, the whole place smelled like moldy carpet. It smelled like moldy carpet, right? The color drains from Valia's face. Yes. That's exactly what it smelled like. And there's all these annoying fluorescent lights on the ceiling that wouldn't stop buzzing. And you couldn't break any of them because there wasn't any furniture in the rooms, right? Oliver, how the hell do you know about that? Because I'm pretty sure I had the exact same dream when I was a kid. No way. Are you sure I didn't tell you about this back at school or something? Or you're just now remembering it? I'm absolutely certain. So how'd you end up getting out? How'd you wake up? I found this wall that was a little less yellow than some of the others. And ended up falling through it somehow. And, clipped out of the world. How about you? I don't even know. The last thing I remember are all these hallways, like the ones you see in a hotel. At the end of hotels or some kind of staircase. I don't even know what happened after that. Okay? The back rooms into like the SCP where like it's a never-ending staircase. Well, we should probably stop talking about this now. I agree. This is a reference to like a creepypasta. I love you, Violet. Love you too, Oliver. I'm glad you made it out. Okay. Wow. Have another conversation. You're painting the siren that attacked Ashton, right? The one that was protecting the seed? That's the one. I still really haven't gotten that scene out of my head, unfortunately. So I'm doing my best to try and evict it. Any chance I can have an insider's look before it's done? No chance. Early opinions throw me off too much, makes the painting less honest and such. Well, given your previous work, I imagine the piece is very Bacon-esque so far. Bacon? Bacon like Francis Bacon? Well, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. I didn't know you were familiar with his work. Who? No, I mean your painting always ends up looking like they're kind of crunchy. Okay. Wait, there's a guy whose last name is Bacon? I think so, Francis Bacon. Wasn't he like a scientist? Or am I mixing that up with somebody else? I don't know. But yes, He drew a lot of body horror stuff. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking someone else. I don't know. Disfigured faces, cuts of hanging meat, things like that. Oh, hold on. So he drew pictures of meat and his name was Bacon. That's freaking incredible. Oh, come on, Oliver. No, shut up. That's amazing. You can't deny it. That'd be like if I made olive oil for a living, or you sold flowers. Wouldn't it be more like if I painted flowers? The guy wasn't a butcher, he was an artist. In this line of work, you're bound to paint some meat eventually. It's not that weird. Well, you're bound to paint some meat eventually, huh? Yes, penises, I get it. Okay. Although I must admit, it's a shame I never got you to ever pose for me. I can feel the inside of my mouth begin to dry up as she says this. Wait, do you mean like naked? Like pose for you naked? Of course, it's not like there were plenty of opportunities. It's a shame it never crossed my mind. I would have loved to have something like that to remember you by. There's no way I'd ever be okay with letting you paint me naked. What if someone else ended up seeing it? So what? Naked people appear all the time in art. It's nothing to be ashamed of. No way. Nope. No. Even it turned out to be the greatest painting on the earth, I've never wanted to be the center of attention like that. Oh, you could have fooled me, hero. Reluctant hero. Yeah, I bet. It's such a shame. We could have saved the artwork with that butt of yours. You only end up making it look like bacon. So, delicious? Aren't you a vegetarian? So, bacon still looks tasty. Okay, fine, I'm lying. You win. Alright. And another one. I feel like no matter what I do today, I'm gonna leave this town unsatisfied. That's probably true, unfortunately. We've made a pretty big mess of this place, haven't we? Violet, I don't know how to fix any of this. Even if I did, I don't think there's enough time for me to put whatever weird idea we'd come up with into action. What are we supposed to do, Violet? What can we do? Violet, normally prepared for basically anything I throw at her, stalls for a bit. We spend so much time talking on this beach, filling the air with our meaningless words. But in this moment, when I want an answer from her most, Violet is completely silent. You don't know, do you? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but we're in the same cognitive boat here. I'm just as lost as you are. Why is it that being lost feels like such a sin? It's not like we were ever taught what to do in these kinds of situations. We were taught about parallelograms, the Civil War, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. Of course, we get lost at sea like this. We were never properly equipped to handle something like this in the first place. We were never gifted strong oars or healthy brains. All we have are some awful experiences and the anemic philosophies that come bundled with them. Other people's ideas, that's all we have. A paper boat melting on the skin of a very real sea. And none of that's powerful enough to save a life. I don't know where to go from here. I'm just painting on this beach until things start making sense again. The beach, our own personal, I don't say that word. Our own personal, Ogygia? I don't know. Terminus of this journey together. Another borrowed concept for us to cling to. Another paper boat. Sorry, but that's all I got left, Oliver. That's all I have to give you. That's all I've got. I'm completely stunned. It isn't long, however, before that stunned feeling folds into a deep and visceral shame. I was hoping she had some idea what to do next. In fact, I was completely expecting it. I almost always depend on her to start our conversations, hungry for her to teach me something new. But that dependency, the hungry feeling I have, is completely parasitic, isn't it? I say my next words without thinking. Well, that's a big relief. Huh? Yeah, I feel like much less of a failure if you're just lost as I am. You're incredible, Violet. I've learned so much just by talking with you. So if someone as amazing as you doesn't know how to fix any of this, I'm certain feeling lost is completely normal. And if being lost is normal, then I shouldn't feel too beat up about not knowing what to do, right? Violet starts giggling to herself. So we just have to be okay with having done something so horrible, is that it? I mean, no. But we'll figure it out. And if we can't, then it's up to us to find a way to be okay with it, I guess. That smile I love so much somehow finds his way back to Violet's face. A good answer, Olive. Alright then, if you're serious about leaving this hellhole satisfied, you should probably go and get on that. You feeling refreshed? You feel like we talked enough yet? Not at all. That's okay. It doesn't need to all be perfect, right? Good luck out there, Olive Oil. Do what you need to do. Violet stands me up, spins me around, kicks my butt with the side of her foot. And then I die because I had only 2 HP and it was a critical hit. Now, even if I don't feel perfect, I leave the beach feeling a little more at peace with what's to come. That's right. I can do this. I know I can do this. Alright, there you go. Alright, so I explored the game as much as I could. I pretty much have 101% complete, really. There's some different variations on a couple scenes that allowed me to get all the gallery pictures and everything. I guess I'll just show real quick. There's some like stuff, some CGs of things we've seen before, and some we haven't, I guess. You know, there's mostly CGs before. Then these CGs, I think, don't really show up in the game necessarily, but it's there. Some of this like alternative art, I guess, as well. Some JoJo style, like, you know, stat pages for the characters. That and some concept art about their actual muses that don't actually exist, but you know, they're kind of there, I guess. There you go. I guess just look at them real quick. I don't go through every single one of them, but you know, you'll look at it, I guess. Oliver's muse, Crystal. That's what I was saying. You know, I kind of wish, even though it's kind of like basically Persona, I do kind of wish they kind of explore more of the actual underworld. You know, I think I was saying like instead of the after story. You know, when I was going through the game again, instead of the after story, I think it'd be better replace that with actually exploring the underworld, and it's more of like you know, more like a Yume Nikki kind of style, you know, where it's like everything's surreal and scary and like dark and everything. That would be interesting, right? Exploring more of Violet's like whole thing as well, right? Like whole like exploring the trauma that came from her situation, right? And everything. That'd be kind of interesting, I feel like, instead of the after story. Because the after story, while neat, I think it is pretty cool, like the dream within the dream and everything. It kind of even summarizes the whole like kind of story, really, about, you know, him wanting all his friends to be together and being in a safe place, right? But obviously it isn't true, and then, you know, reality starts to break down. We kind of already explored that, you know, from the rest of the game. So it'd be more interesting if we did you know, if the whole tone of the game went in a different direction as kind of like a contrast to his usual, like, you know, happy headspace. I feel like, right? That's what I was thinking anyway. You know, because the after story is again pretty neat, but it could really just be on like its own game, really. You know, instead of exploring the characters that we already know, like in this game, it could be like different characters, and it could be like its own little short game. You know, that could be like its own little experience, I would say. But anyway, all right. So I explored most of the game. Apparently, I'm still missing one journal page. I'll have to look into that later. I'll see if I want to even read the entire journal. I guess it's a lot of words. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on Finishing Touch, which I believe are just little side stories of the game. I guess we'll see. Let's click on it. There's no extra content. All right, so it says here, okay, a set of little moments following the members of the Midnight Guard. Best if you played after being Siren's Call. Okay, Siren's Call, Finishing Touch. Okay, so it's a actual like kind of like after story. In a way, it doesn't take place after the story though, I guess, right? Because yeah, I see Violet, you know, and Violet's technically dead. Spoilers, even though you can only see this after you beat the game, so already, you know. All right, I don't know. Just explore this, I guess. I don't know how long it takes, but let's see. Oh, come the frick on! This ball is actual literal garbage juice. Angelica Helvig has missed her third basket in a row. As a result, one could say she's grown a bit discouraged. This is hell, isn't it? I slip on a banana peel or something on my way to school and now I'm stuck in hell throwing orange garbage bags in this hoop for all eternity. That's no biggie. Just gotta make this next shot and earn my rightful spot as the undisputed queen of hell. Angelica's grip loosens on her school's pathetic excuse for a basketball. Right, a real warrior makes do with what they have. Blaming the equipment only makes me weak. She really she really what's the word? I won't say subscribe, that's not the right word. But she really likes the whole strength thing, It's like the weak must fear the strong. No, don't be a moron, Andy. Just make the shot. The ball flies gracefully from Angelica's hand. The ball finds its mark and drips down the webbing of the net. The ball splits into two perfectly equal parts upon hitting the ground. Oh yeah. In a way, that's pretty amazing. I'm sorry, what? She examines the now halved and useless basketball. Holy cow, you destroyed that thing. What life was that basketball living in the space between your hands and the ground? A pretty bad one, I guess. Hey, Miss L, am I gonna get yelled for this? Yelled at? My dear, what you created just now was an absolute art. Would you agree, Violet? Absolute art. A perfect display of symmetry crying out amongst the chaos of the universe. So I'm not in trouble then. I didn't see anything. And the cameras? Oh, those all stopped working like 2 years ago, I think. Why am I not surprised? Oh, gotta keep the football team looking nice and shiny every year after all. Who knows, maybe a little vandalism will help these jerks start budgeting their money proper. Miss Lawrence picks up the 2 basketball pancakes and tosses them into the center of the court on her way out the door. It's Saturday, and so the school is mostly empty with the exception of these 3. As such, they're able to make full use of the facilities without interruption. Okay, break's over, kiddos. I've got to get back to it. What does Miss Lawrence do, by the way? I guess she's a teacher? Did it ever mention that? I don't know. Can we get an ETA on how long you'll be? Well, they're trying to shuck a couple of transfer students out of their combinations again. A brother and sister. Both low functioning. Not only that, but their new IEPs are significantly more vague than the ones we got from the old school. And the parents? Oh, they have no clue what the school's doing, obviously. How could they? Principal shitbag didn't give them a copy of the new IEP at the last meeting. So yes, lots of emails to send out. I don't want to rush this, so I'd say 3 hours minimum. Is that long enough for you? Yes, indeedy. 3 hours should be more than enough to finish. Finish what exactly? Oh, she didn't tell you? My, that's it actually precious. What a delightful little reversal. What do you mean by that, Teach? Have fun, you two. I should give the scary eyes. What did Auntie Dearest mean by that, Violet? It's only after kicking open the door of the art room that Violet finally releases Andy's hand. He pulls the sable hairbrush out of the nearby cabinet of crusty art supplies and smirks devilishly. It means I'm gonna paint you, bestie. Hate me? An uncomfortable feeling butterflies up Angelica's throat. Isn't that kind of stupid? I don't follow. It's a waste of paint, V. You're seriously gonna hang a picture of me up in your house? It's not just a picture. It's going to be a portrait. And it's going to be my best one yet. I can feel it. But why? Because you're freaking hot, doofus. You spend 7 hours a day working out? That body of yours is one step below divinity, and the aspiring artists will kill to have you model for them. And that's an objective fact. Is it? I think that's not objective. Anyway, no one's ever asked you to do this before? Holy carp. Holy carp? You're actually blushing. That's awesome. That's a good thing, right? Well, I'm not above slapping the sable, Violet. What? Yeah. I think we both know that's not gonna happen. By all means, start slapping if he gets you posing for me on that couch. But I've known you for 2 years, Andy. I think if you actually wanted to hurt someone else, you would have done it by now, right? I'm going back to the gym. Have fun looking for divinity or whatever in the drywall, kiddo. Please? I meant what I said. There really is nobody else who I know who looks like you. I'm literally a twin. Or I'm literally a twin. Just go ask Judy. That's not the same, and you know it. I don't understand. Why expend so much effort in that body of yours if you don't want to appreciate it? Aren't you proud of what you built? Of course I am. And let me immortalize that pride. I don't want to paint Judith. She's like a chimera of 7 different kinds of housewife. There's nothing inspiring about that. You're easily just as beautiful, sir, if not more. Stop being a jerk to yourself and act like it and pose for me. I'm going to manipulate you until you pose for me. I'm going to emotionally manipulate you and guilt trip you so that I can paint you. How long is this going to take again? You'll do it then. How long is it going to take? 2 hours. Tops. You have my word. Just strike your most powerful pose on the couch over there and go get started. Just do your best JoJo pose. Nothing powerful about sitting in one place for that long. You'll adapt. And thank you, Andy. I appreciate you giving me the chance to do this. I know it probably isn't easy for you. Nothing's easy if we're doing anyway. I don't mind as long as something good comes out of all this embarrassment. What does the Queen of Hell have to be embarrassed about anyway? Exactly. Violet takes a seat at her workstation. Almost immediately after, she hears the crinkle of the leather couch against Andy's skin, as well as the sound of something hitting the floor. Hey, bestie. Bestie. I feel like that's a meme. Yeah, huh? Mind explaining why you're taking off your pants? Oh, I thought the fancy couch man had to be naked. Not necessarily. Oh, shit, really? Damn, my bad. I mean, at the end of the day, do whatever makes you feel fancy. But I don't really trust the idea that all of these cameras are broken. Or all of these cameras are broken. Plus, I prefer if you weren't my first when it comes to more risque art, if you get what I'm saying. Wow, choosing that stick figure over a divine creature like myself? That seriously wounds me, Violet. I'm so heartbroken. I'm gonna put my pants back on just to spite you. How tragic. We don't get to see Andy naked. That's too bad. 30 minutes into painting. Violet pokes up the side of her head with the sharp point of an unused paintbrush. Everything good? Yeah, it's fine. That sounded convincing. I just never painted anyone this muscular before. She is pretty muscular. The way she dresses right now, though, doesn't really show off her muscles. Anyway, it's just her abs. A little bit, but... I don't know. I mean, I feel like you can get... there are people who get even more shredded. I mean, women in particular, but anyway. Is that an issue? I'm just more used to doing landscapes, if that makes sense. But didn't you say you were a champ of portraits or something? I never said that. I just said this one would be my best one yet. Which it would be when you think about it. 6 minutes into painting. Violet. Chill the heck out, Andy. Everything's fine. 90 minutes into painting. I don't think I can sit still for much longer, dude. Sucks to admit, but my arms are actually getting kinda tired. I'm starting to see that, I guess. Yeah, we don't have to keep going. I'll just take a picture of you on my phone and try again when I get home. The young artist snaps a quick, defeated shot of her muse and begins gathering her things. Sorry for making you sit so long. I'll find some way to make it up to you soon, don't worry. You mean I don't even get to see it? Huh? You're really gonna make me sit in one place for 7 years and then show me what would come out of it? That's pretty rude, don't you think? You wanna burn your eyes out of their socket that badly. What can I say? I'm a glutton for punishment. Angelica walks over to the canvas and looks it over. Her left eye twitches involuntarily. Okay. Andy frisbees the canvas out the window and into a nearby dumpster. Oh, yes. What the actual fuck is wrong with you? Not a fan? That was just a stick figure with long hair and boobs. I thought a more abstract style suited your complex nature. You made me sit for 2 hours. I know. Honestly, there was something about 10 minutes ago, but it was so horrible that I painted over it. I thought at least this way, There's a chance you might have gotten a laugh out of it. That was presumptuous of me. Sorry. A bit off way more than I could chew today. But I'm not giving up. I'll have your portrait done by tomorrow morning. So please forgive me for wasting your afternoon. And then she freaking kills Violet. This is how Violet actually died. No, and he picks up the couch in his entirety and drops it at the end of the room. The light was hitting me wrong. Andy. I said the lighting was wrong. No wonder you can't pay me right. Are you blaming the equipment? Light isn't equipment, doofus. Come on, waste a little bit more of my time, Violet. I want to see what you're capable of. And so, Andy died of starvation because they didn't eat anything for so long. It took so long for Violet pain, and then they both died. No, and so these two friends do what friends do best and waste each other's times in equal parts. Well, mostly equal parts, that is. We never see that portrait, though, you know? Oh. Okay. Alright, I mean, these are just kind of like, they're kind of just slice of life. Not very important. I'm already in too deep. Might as well. Kind of like, it's not, it's not super interesting, but it's okay. I mean, I guess you get to learn more of the characters and everything. And now Ash is wearing his hat correctly, by the way. He used to wear it like normally, like at least in the dream world, you know, he wore like the cap facing forward, but like it's kind of like the, I don't know, that I feel like the dorky way to wear it. Wearing it backwards is where you're supposed to wear it, right? I don't know. Ashton Wardwick flashes. Ashton Wardwick washes the Florida heat from his face and stares himself in the mirror. Normally, he wouldn't be caught dead at school on a Sunday afternoon like this. There's nothing normal about someone like Judith needing his help. You found your way inside then. I keep saying words wrong. Of course I did. Keys were right where you said they'd be. And even if they weren't, shit isn't rocket science. Rocket. Game keeps making reference to rockets. Sure, I sure hope not. If working for NASA ends up being as dull as what I'm doing now for the student council, then I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Ashton throws a set of bronze keys over to his friend and takes a seat. Well, if NASA turns you down, I feel like you make a decent cam burglar. Oh? What makes you say that? Well, you did a pretty good job sneaking me in here. And, not gonna lie, you seem like a type of woman that steal diamonds for fun. No offense. None taken. I totally do steal diamonds. All the time. No. That's hardly much of a career path though, don't you think? Doesn't mean you wouldn't be good at it. If you want to get your feet wet with a heist or something, just let me know. Thank you for the offer, but I'm not the thieving type, Ash. At the end of the day, I like to earn my trophies. I mean, if it takes work, that means you earned it, right? But anyway, what do you sneak me in here for, Kim? Judith takes a seat at her desk and cuffs the side of her face. Or sides of her face. Do you have any experience with trespassers? You accusing me of something I should know about? Not at all. But the more experience you have here, the better. Oh yeah? Judith spins around her chair and stares bitterly out the window. Every Sunday afternoon, I come to this office to catch up on my work for the student council. All the school's janitors leave at 5, sometimes earlier. So after that, I should be the only one here. But you're not, are you? I swear I hear someone's walking around this place, Ash. And? Are you too scared to check it out yourself? It isn't fear. I just kept pushing it out of my mind, really. Maybe it's because we were helping Violet with all that schoolwork. But now there's nothing major to distract me. The idea of somebody else being here at night is kind of an info hazard. Like, I know I could scope out the school by myself, but that seems stupid. And what if this trespasser was actually armed? Then what? How long have you been psyching yourself out like this, Judy? Well, let's see. About a month, give or take a few days. And you didn't tell any of us? I'm telling you now, aren't I? Did we all have our hands full helping Violet? A little bout of paranoia on my end wouldn't help the Midnight Guard very much now, would it? Okay, it's funny how the Midnight Guard is actually real, as in like they named themselves, like the friend group as the Midnight Guard, which is just a very dorky thing to do. Anyway, I'm sure there's a lot you don't tell us because you don't want people to worry, right? Hey, it's not like I don't get it. You focus on what you had to focus on. Makes sense. That's what being an adult is all about. I'm just saying I could have dealt with this a long time ago if you came to me earlier. You help me then. Depends. How much freedom do I have here? Judith reaches under her desk and pulls out a wooden baseball bat. So we're gonna... I guess we're gonna... Are we in America, or... We can, like, just do this? We can just assault people? You know, I mean, I feel like in some countries, you can't really do that. You know? I don't know, anyway. Aim for the legs if you can. I want them to be conscious when the cops arrive. They need to know how badly they messed up for coming into my school and destroy them. Oh, damn. Violence. Hooray. Ashley makes himself familiar with the way of the bat in his hands. How long have you been keeping this here, Cap? About a month, give or take a few days. Devilish. Delightfully devilish, Judith. So that good Christian girl vibe you give off is just an act, then. What am I doing wrong, exactly? They're breaking the law by being here, after all, and therefore we can kill them. Easy. No, maybe I guess not kill them, but simply maim them, that's all. And I'm not? Nope. From the start, you were here to help me with some paperwork. Simple as that. I feel like this is breaking some kind of law, I feel like. I don't know what kind of law it is. But like it's like instigating like a confrontation or something. I don't know. Entrapment? It's not really entrapment though. I don't know, anyway. See, this is why we're friends. Know what it takes to get shit done. I feel the same way. Ideally, all this is just in my head. But once night falls and that horrid thumping starts again, you leave no room unsearched. Exactly. Okay. Night comes to Siren's call. Just so we're on the same page. You distract them, I break the legs. That's the plan. Easy on Sunday morning, or easy as Sunday morning. Good. Judith and Ash nod reassuringly to each other in the darkness. Now, as far as payment is concerned, you know, she's freaking hiring a hitman. Judith pulls a small cluster of bills out of her backpack. Well, I'm not taking your money, rich girl. All I care about right now is doing a good job. And money doesn't help with that? Can't really do my best if I'm motivated by paper instead of helping out my friend, you feel me? That's just how I am, sorry. No, whatever keeps you focused is fine by me. It just doesn't seem fair for you to receive nothing after spending your Sunday like this. I'd offer you a day with my sister, but I get the impression you've been too interested in that. Oh, how about if something particularly traumatizing happens, you slide me a few 20s next chance you get. Is that fair? I'll make it happen. It will come to that, though. We've got this. Damn right we do. Okay, so here's something I've noticed, by the way. In terms of the art style, I mentioned it before, I feel like, but like, you know how like Ashton has like much smaller eyes, much more realistic face. Look at that, it has the nose and everything, and Judith is like more like cutesy anime girl. You know, that's the difference in the art style, you know, and that's not to say it's inaccurate. It just makes him look older than he is, which maybe he is older than he is. I don't know, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. He should be like around the same age, right? So he just shouldn't look like he's in his 30s. You know, so, at least in anime. You know, in anime, you know, because if you're in 30s, that's what you look like. He's like, you just look a lot older. It's to differentiate between, you know, kids and adults. He looks more like an adult than a kid, which, I mean, thematically, I guess, might make sense. It's all about being like an adult, right? But I don't know, art style wise, it kind of looks weird because he looks a lot older than she is. Anyway, a light thumping reverberates throughout the hallway. Oh dang, you weren't kidding then. You hear it too then? There's no way that's just a machine, right? Not a chance. The pair begin meticulously searching the classroom. Oh yeah, speaking of Andy,
Any particular reason why she's not here to give us some backup? Well, wouldn't that be smarter? Strength in numbers and all that.
Oh, she just make fun of me the whole time.
That's so?
You don't know what it's like to live with that woman, Ash. There's not a chance in hell she'd have the patience to search this entire building. But you're no stranger to hard work. So I can take advantage of you. I mean, the two of us are more than enough, I'm certain of it. Otherwise, I would have swallowed my pride and conscripted her as well, I promise.
Got it. Yeah, it's just a matter of pride, I guess. You know, a thought just occurred to me. What if it's another person we're dealing with here?
What do you mean by that?
Like, what if it's ghosts? This is friggin' ghosts. What if it's a siren, even though that didn't exist? It was all in Oliver's head, and it was just Emil's idea, like world building. But don't worry about it.
Please don't do this right now, Ashton.
Look, Florida is one of the most haunted states in America, right? And Siren's Call was one of the first places where the Spanish began selling when they came over to North America. You think those early settlers enjoyed high school? Your question, of course they didn't.
You can believe what you want, Ashton, but I'm a disciple of science and of God.
Oh, yeah, that is an interesting contrast, by the way. Apparently she is, like, very religious. Well, it's implied anyway. I don't know if there was any, like, very explicit references to her, like, religion. There's only, like, you know, it was just how, like, Oliver and Judith met at church, right, and everything. But it is implied, I mean, several times that, you know, she's very, religious. But, she's religious, but also science. You know, she likes science as well. So, like, they're scientists and also religious. Kind of weird combination, all I gotta say. It doesn't have to be contradictory, but, you know, I feel like a lot of people who are religious, you know, there's some things in the Bible that contradict what science says. So, like, you know, if you take the Bible quite literally, then there's some things you can't really accept, I feel like. Oh, it depends. Anyway.
I don't believe in ghosts.
Ghosts are really part of your religion, dummy.
That's clearly an allegory.
Okay, so you believe in zombies, but not ghosts?
Jesus wasn't a zombie. Jesus wasn't a zombie. He simply resurrected. He simply used the resurrection spell.
Now, the guy literally rose from the dead, Judith. Or is that also an allegory or whatever?
There's no scientific proof of the existence of ghosts.
It's a big universe, Captain. You seriously gonna tell me people have it all figured out by 2011, really?
Any particular reason why you're so desperately trying to weaken my conviction?
I just want us to be prepared. You know, we gotta call the Ghostbusters.
Against what? A ghost?
And what are you gonna do against a ghost exactly? Cut our losses and call in professional. And hope that this ghost is in a good mood when we find it. Otherwise, well, I guess just spend your last few moments alive hoping that God of yours is real. Sound good? Okay. Kind of rude, actually, but anyway. Judith nervously fumbles with her keyring a little bit before finding the one that opens up the chemistry lab. Feeling the pressure yet?
Can you please just focus on the job at hand?
What are you talking about? I'm focused as hell.
Well, as my bodyguard, she'd be trying to, I don't know, treat me well and keep me safe?
Well, I care about my friends too much to pamper them, Judy. Besides, my job isn't to make you feel better. My job is to break legs. I just want to make sure you have the right mindset of what's about to happen.
I'm perfectly calm, thank you.
That's the problem. Being scared keeps you focused. There's no point in trying to fight it. Don't freak out either. Even if you're scared, nothing bad's gonna actually happen to you. If you get enough of a head start, you should be able to outrun me.
You mean for when the ghost possesses you?
Now you're getting it. I'll do my best to resist it, but on the off chance I fail, just do what you need to do. It's an honor to die a hero's death, so I promise I won't hold it against you.
We're both gonna get stabbed in that, aren't we? Okay. Unreliable bodyguard. Ash whistles a jaunty tune as him and Judith make their way down the halls.
I just saw one of those wooden things move.
Better go smash it then.
On it!
Ashton runs forward and throws his entire body weight into one of the easels. It shatters instantly. Ah yes, vandalism.
The dark deed you have requested is done, Kevin.
Great. Mystery solved, gang. Good job. Well, I think you can go home now. Let's just lock up.
So that haunted Isa was just a distraction, huh? These Spanish ghosts are probably just as clever as they are handsome. Ashton sprints out of the room, bashing his bat down the hall like a broadsword. The pair find themselves in a room right next to the gym. Ashton gets on his knees and puts his ear to the floor. There's no doubt about it. Whatever is haunting the school is on the other side of this wall. Judith's right eye twitches out involuntarily as Ash tightens his grip on the bat. I'll kick open the door to the gym on 3, okay?
Can we go to the crab bucket after this by any chance? I seriously need a drink right now.
I'll buy you a soda after we're done, but right now I need you to focus.
Soda? You know, she doesn't want soda. She wants freaking beer.
We'll go in on 3, alright? Actually, fuck it, we're going in now. Ashton lifts his leg up at a surprisingly sharp angle and kicks open the door to the gym. Tonight we feast on ectoplasm! Charge!
Dead. A fully inflated orange basketball hits the right side of Ashton's face. Oh my goodness. Ash, are you okay? A feeling of overwhelming guilt and shame washes over Judith as she watches her friend tumble to the floor.
Strong ghost, I guess.
He props himself off the floor and looks to his right. What the heck is your Mickey malfunction, Ash?
That's... I don't know how to answer that question.
Sis? What on God's green earth are you doing here?
It wasn't ghost then?
Ash is visibly disappointed. He wanted to see ghosts. He wants to beat up some ghosts. Have you seriously been nightballing every Sunday for an entire month? A month? I've been here longer than that. Wait, you really didn't know? Weird. No, how could I have known?
I mean, you guys kind of live together, so...
Judith bites down her lower lip just hard enough to prevent herself from screaming. I don't see what the big deal is. I'm still a student here for the next 2 weeks. That doesn't mean you can just waltz on in here whenever you feel like it. The doors are locked for a reason, you know. Well, we got in just fine through that door on the roof. Not our fault if your security system sucks. We?
Oliver's here.
Oliver looks up from his journal and waves to his friends. Salutations. Oliver?
Wait, why are you here, dude?
The school feels really differently at night. It's eerie being in a place where people should be walking around but aren't anymore. Very transitory. Makes for good writing. It's bad for your eyes you write in the dark, though. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
So, she's here to shoot hoops and you're here to ruin your eyes and shit?
Oh, I'm just here in case anybody tries to get the jump on us. I was gonna distract them with a riddle or something and Andy would break their legs.
No way, that was our plan too! We're like twins.
The two friends exchange a brotherly fist bump. And not much of a distraction, are you, sis? It's not my fault. What we went through tonight was a unique experience. Nice excuse. I almost gave a shit. Do a better job protecting him next time, alright?
Hey, I could have taken you. That ball to the face may have hurt, but I still had to fight me.
Please, like I'd ever let you dominate me in any regard. Is that a challenge or anyway, I don't know. As far as I know, I mean, it's been heavily implied already, but I'm still kind of getting some mixed signals. But I think, like, Ashton is like not interested in women, right? It was said like before, right? I don't know, I can't remember. But like, he's just not interested, right? Anyway. Besides, there are 2 of us and only 1 of you. Excuse me?
Well, if Judy doesn't count, then neither does Oliver. No offense, dude.
Nah, that makes sense.
I didn't really do anything either, so Judas isn't the only one that's useless in the fight. Oliver. Ash ends up paying for everyone's meal at the crab bucket. Oh, in a way, Judith is the one that pays for it. Getting defeated in battle is fairly traumatizing after all. But yeah, I was thinking like because Ashton, it was implied that he has he wants to be in a relationship with Emil, right? But Emil wants to be in a relationship with Judith, but obviously that doesn't work out. I mean, especially in real life, I think. So he just goes somewhere else. I don't know if they end up together. Oh, anyway. Or like he's not gay? Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's just I'm again, it's kind of mixed signals. I don't know if he's gay or not. But like he really reminds me of Kanji, right? Kanji from Persona 4. I think he's a very direct inspiration, I feel like. Where Kanji is heavily implied to be totally gay as well, even though it's like kind of retcon. It's not really retcon, but like it's almost like he's almost gay, but like it turns out he isn't. It's kind of like it just ends up him not really being gay at all, and it's like I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess you can interpret it as differently. Like, I mean, isn't there like a certain sexuality where it's like you're not attracted to like a particular gender, but like person? You know, like, that's sort of what the idea is supposed to be for Kanji's story in Persona 4. Anyway, whatever. All right. Well, there you go. I mean, that was kind of that's pretty funny. Yeah, that was pretty funny. No more time Ashton. I feel like we didn't spend that much time on Ashton. I feel like in the game because he kind of leaves first, you know. Let's see, Bushido and the Beast. All right, let's try this one. What's this one about? Angelica arrives at the home of one Emil Carwinen Fletcher, her friend and former pupil in fitness. Your fancy music. Oh, so fancy. What is this, a hutan? Is there Japanese? She feels a bit more sore than normal making her way up the stairs to his bedroom. Geez, leg day was brutal. Did you push yourself too hard? No way, dude. When life gets hard, I get harder. I'm always looking to kick yesterday's ass. Emil lets out a delighted chuckle. That's a good philosophy to have. I hope I'll see it in action today. What's that supposed to mean? Emil doesn't respond at first. Instead, he simply walks over to the small wooden table in the middle of his bedroom, sits down and begins pouring some tea. It occurs to Andy that even though she's been friends with Emil for 2 years, this is the first time the two of them have ever been alone in a room together. Why did you call me over here anyway? Emil takes a controlled sip of his beverage. I wanted to show you my appreciation for everything you've done for us. Appreciation? Specifically for me, if not for your efforts, I would never have realized how strong I could truly become. Andy breathes a sigh of relief. Oh, don't sweat it. I just remember that one Greek guy said. Something like, it's a shame to get old without seeing the strength that your body is capable of, or something like that. Yes, Socrates. It was that phrase specifically, coming from you, that motivated me most during our sessions together. Wait, you mean those ones from 2 years ago? Naturally. Well, I had to find something to spark you up. He may be our friend now, but Ash was being a dick and you were just letting it happen. Can't stand seeing people being weak when they can do something about it. Also, probably the first time I ever checked a book out of the library. Is that so? I still remember the weird look that librarian chick gave me. I see. Well, I share your sentiment. About weakness and the ability to change it, that is. I'm grateful for it, as well as your training, and I'd like to repay you. Emil pulls out 2 long objects under his futon. Dude. 2 wooden practice katanas, complete with their scabbards, are placed in front of him on the table, and now we will duel to the death. What? If you're interested, I can teach you the way of the blade. Oh yes, Kenjutsu. Andy looks on in utter disbelief. Way of the blade. Are you serious, Emil? I do not jest about matters such as these. The only time I pick up something sharp is when I'm cutting the fat from my chicken. But what about when you picked me up that one time? I wouldn't read too much into that, glasses. You got bit by a freaking shark. No one's just gonna leave you there in the sand. Emil chuckles again. You laugh like a supervillain, you know that? How does he laugh? He goes like... Why swords anyway? Is that even a useful thing to spend your time doing? It's very worthwhile to learn about, and that's twice as true if you can learn through action. I wager you know that better than anyone. As the old proverb goes, as the old proverb goes, iron sharpens iron. Hey, look, if it works for you, whatever, man, but I got all the weapons I need right here. And he flexes her muscles, showing the veins running across her neck, as well as the crevices in her abs. I don't know, the way she's drawn, though, I feel like it's a very anime thing to do, though. I mean, definitely, I can see some abs here, but I feel like if she's really packing muscles, she would be a bit more beefier, I feel. A little bit. I mean, depends on how she trains. But, like, I feel like biceps should be a little bit, bigger. I feel like not too big, but a little bit bigger. It depends, I guess, if you're a natty or whatever, or you're natural. If you take steroids or whatever. I know. I mean, for guys and girls too. If they take steroids, then obviously they have much bigger bulk or whatever. But obviously, it's not a healthy thing to do. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, she's definitely athletic though, but I wouldn't say she's like a bodybuilder, But I mean, it depends. Like a true bodybuilder would be like a lot different than her physique, yes. And maybe that's not what she's going for. But anyway, the way of the blade is about far more than just a weapon. Way of the blade. I mean, I guess the way of the blade, the way of the sword. That's kendo. That's what kendo stands for, by the way. Kendo. Do is way of, I guess. Ken is sword. So kendo. Way of the sword. I took kendo. I took like 1 year, and then I did not. Yeah, I did not continue it because I didn't have time. I don't know, to follow through. So I only got past like the beginner part where you swing the shinai or the bamboo sword. I just learned how to swing that, but that's it. I didn't do much else. I didn't do any sparring or anything. I don't know. It's hard to commit to something like that. I don't know. I just didn't have time. Anyway, anyone can sling, or anyone can sling. Or anyone can swing? Anyone can sling a sharp piece of metal around, but the samurai were far more than that. The Bushido code's all about self-control, of which you seem to be lacking. Amiya puts on a cheeky grin. You watch your mouth, you tea-huffing weeb. I'll rip those lips off your face and... Hey, wait a minute. You said that just to get a rise out of me, didn't you? I'd be lying if I said I didn't. And I commend you for recognizing it. That's a bit of a low blow, As Oliver may recall, low blows are your specialty. Your expertise should allowed you to see it coming. Well, duh. It's not like anybody actually needs honor or anything like that. In a legit fight for your life, honor goes out the window real fast. That may be true. But would you ever need to fight for your life if you were strong enough? Truly, it takes more strength to end the fight peacefully than it does to end it with violence. And to exercise mercy because you have that strength. That is the core concept of Bushido. I mean, is it? I don't know, actually. I feel like you're just making this up. I'm pretty sure you're just overthinking this. If you're stronger than the other guy, then just go ahead and beat him to a pulp, easy. Well, I don't know. I feel like, in a street fight, usually it's unfair because most likely it's never like a one-on-one. It's always like someone, a bunch of people gang up on you, and that's always... It's not like the kung fu movies where like one guy can just beat up like 20 people. That's not how it works in real life. Being surrounded and everything, it's an incredibly gigantic disadvantage. But anyway, at that point, what difference is there between you and a beast? I am a beast. I'm a furry. No, what? You have to be aggressive. A predator hunting prey, no mercy. And speaking of which, weren't samurais vegetarians or something? You need meat if you want to be strong. Just look at Violet. Sounds like they just made up a bunch of stuff so they didn't have to fight hard because they knew they'd get their butts handed to them if they did. The samurai weren't vegetarians. In any case, would you prefer to put your theory to the test? You bet I would. Get ready, because I'm going to show you how outdated your Bushido actually is. Pick up a sword then. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I don't need no sticking sword. Andy pounds her fists together, then charges at Emil. What? You gonna find this room, this tiny room? Emil takes grip of his sword and bends his knee. He focuses, drawing out everything except his opponent. When Andy gets close, she throws a running straight punch. Emil sidesteps. A sharp scrape of wood splits the air. The sword flies out of his scabbard with amazing speed. Ah yes, what's that called? That's called the Aijutsu? The art of like unsheathing your sword. Andy winces a bit, mere inches from her head. She feels a rush of wind whip her in the face. Before Andy can set her eyes on Emil, Emil's already returned the sword to his scabbard. I could have hit you if I wanted to. That's 1 point for me. Hey, who said we're keeping score? Well, we have to keep some track of the competition, do we not? Okay. Yeah, this is a very, like, unorthodox arena, I feel like. There's a bunch of, like, sake bottles in the way. They make a mess. Anyway. Andy growls and throws a sweeping hook of her right arm. Emil ducks the punch. Then, with great self-control, Emil taps Andy in the ribs with the blunt to his scabbard. There's very little force behind it, but the tap catches Andy off guard and makes her stumble backward. 2 points. Andy regains her balance, growls again, then grins deviously. She grabs a nearby glass bottle off the table and brandishes it. I'm gonna glass you. I'm gonna knock you back to China where you belong. The samurai were Japanese, Andy. That's like really racist. Like, I know what I said. Emil stands his ground and bends his knee again, ready for another quick draw. He knows that Andy's battle card reaches its high point when she's about to strike. As Andy swings the ball down with both hands, Emil draws the katana. Glass clashes against wood as the blade catches the side of the bottle. Before Andy can push a bottle into the attack, Emil swings the blade away from the bottle to parry with speed and grace. Andy stumbles forward, off balance. When she catches herself, she looks back at Emil, who's extremely calm. How are you able to block everything? If I didn't know any better, you'd say you were cheating. Would you want to quit if I were a cheater? Hell no. Mama didn't raise a quitter. And besides, if I beat a cheater, that's even better than winning a fair fight. Is that so? Yeah. If they get an unfair advantage and I still win, then I'm even more kick-ass than I thought I was. Emil chuckles heartedly, and then he takes out a real katana and stabs her, and then she dies. What's so funny this time? You already beat cheaters every time you go to the gym, do you not? What do you mean? Aren't some of those people at your gym cheaters as well? Oh, you bet. Some of those scrubs with the purple glove are definitely juicing. It's a big reason why I stopped going, really. I can't stand being surrounded by liars. Emil's lips curve into a smile of admiration. Honesty is another value of the Bushido Code, and the deliberate choice to take the hard path when presented with an easy one. That is an honor as well. You're closer to the samurai than you think you are, Andy. Everybody's a samurai. You're a samurai, and you're a samurai. A hint of a smile spreads across Andy's face. Really? Indeed. Emil motions the other wooden katana still lying on the ground. The offer is still open. And, as you once told me years ago, the best way to learn is by doing. Andy glances over to the katana. Then she tosses the bottle aside, reaches over and picks it up. Unlike Emil, she yanks the blade out of his scabbard immediately. She then grips it with both hands in a stance that's a bit imperfect but powerful. Let's begin then. I hope you're ready. Okay. Again, I really feel like this is not a very good place to spar, you know? You should probably go to like a proper dojo, or at least outside. I don't know. You gotta like hit stuff, I feel like. You gotta hit this lamp. There's already like a bit of a mess of the glass pieces on the ground. Aren't you gonna step on it and hurt yourself? Anyway, Andy charges at Emil once more. The two engage each other in a series of sword swipes. Looking for an opening, Emil slows himself down to conserve his energy. Emil can still easily predict Andy's attacks, but there's a renewed vigor behind them. I can see them coming, but they're faster than before. What's more, she's putting an incredible amount of force into each attack. I can't parry them properly. Being predictable doesn't matter if I'm unstoppable. Each heavy swing of Andy's katana is made of a labored parry of Emil. Eventually, Emil has to start dodging. Andy presses her revenge but still fails to get a hit in. She keeps at it, knowing that it will all be all the sweeter if she does manage to score a hit. As the minutes drew on, both combatants grew I can't speak. Both combatants grew tired, but were determined not to let it show. Andy knew that any sign of weakness would mean Emil would go on the attack, and Emil knew that any sign of weakness would mean Andy would redouble her efforts. Her stamina is incredible. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Out of context. Anyway, how can one guy be so freaking patient? My arms feel like soggy noodles. Oliver stands at the base of the stairs with a friendly smile on his face. Hey Emil, you have any more notes of the book? I had some free time, so I just thought I'd work on it a little. I hope you're ready to get fucked, Emil. Is that an invitation? If so, then stop dancing around like a fool and hit me already. This is some kind of weird, like, sex thing, or... No, yeah, I'm not walking into that. Guess I'll just microwave some nachos or something. The two continue their mock fight until the sun sets. Okay, good. Andy pushes out a hard and heavy breath from her lungs. Oh man, I can't feel any of my limbs. The feeling is mutual. Or rather, the lack of feeling, at any rate. Well, those 3 points you got at the start means you win. As much as I hate to admit it. I know how much defeat can sting, so I won't tell you not to feel how you're feeling. And it'll pass. Losing just reminds me I need to work harder. But I won't lie, it is kinda sad. I couldn't even get a single hit in. Don't be discouraged. If it weren't for your training and pushing us all beyond our limits to form new ones, I don't know that I would have developed the stamina to keep up with you in the first place. Even though I did win, you should look at this as a victory as well. Because at the end of the day, logically, me winning also means that you're an excellent coach, does it not? I understand you're concerned for our well-being, so you should be proud of yourself as well. You say that as it's reminded when she like broke the glass bottle, like she was planning on hitting you with the glass bottle, and then like it's not like candy glass like in the movies. You get hit by a glass bottle, you're going to the hospital. But anyway, within reason, of course. Andy's face contorts in confusion, but not anger. How'd you know? How were you able to put it into words so well? Man, I never thought I'd see the day I'd be jealous of you. No offense. It's no trouble. As far as how you feel about these things is very plain to see. Whenever one of us gets injured or when Violet has a seizure, the anguish is written all over your face. Oh. Right, of course it is. Which is a good thing, Andy. Those who rest upon the crutch of apathy are worth not a single crumb of respect. But to care that deeply and fight for someone other than yourself, even when you have so little control over what will happen to them, that's clearly a sign of strength, not weakness. As I said before, I'm appreciative. If not for your guidance, I wouldn't have been able to win. Simple as that. Andy's lips slowly curve into a satisfied smile. And her eyebrows come down hard as she surges with determination. Alright, then it's my turn to be a student or whatever. I want you to be so good that you're the only person alive that ever stands a chance against me. So you're gonna go easy on me, it won't end well. I had no intention of it. Shall we then? And thus they become samurai. And they walk the earth in search of new enemies to fight, to further master their skill in swordsmanship. Now, in time, Andy will certainly find a chance to humble me once again. After all, much like with herself, somebody has to do it. But for now, the cycle of learning begins anew. Iron sharpening iron. But then it doesn't happen though, because isn't they all like split up and never meet up again or something? Maybe, maybe not. I'm assuming the whole, swordsmanship thing is put on hold after Violet dies. But anyway, well, I can't, I just keep thinking about the fact that she's dead, and how that affects everything. Anyway, all right, sure. Ash and Emil. Wonder what those guys are up to. Let's see. Ashton cleans up the remains of their lab while Emil meticulously jots their findings down on the fresh sheet of notebook paper. With only 2 more weeks of school left, the worthlessness of these last few assignments is becoming increasingly apparent and exhausting. But this system of theirs has worked wonders before, and so will carry them through no problem. No sense in rocking the boat after all. Heavy feeling bubbles up Ashton's throat. Hey Emil? Just a moment. I need to concentrate. If these formulas leave my head before I write them down, they won't end well, believe me. Oh, right. Ashton turns away and sweeps one last pile of baking soda into the wastebasket. It's funny. 2 years ago, he would have happily beat the crap out of me for talking to him like that. But things are different now. Thanks to Andy's training and Emil's something, the context of their interactions has changed completely. He's a better man now. He isn't afraid of him anymore, not one bit. Emil fought his dragon, and even if he didn't technically win, he still tried his best. And that's hard not to admire. Fought his dragon, what does that mean? I should know what that meant. I'm assuming he did, according to Oliver's dream, in most of the game, Emil was, fighting his sense of inferiority, which in a way is also maybe Oliver projecting that, sense of inferiority. But that's what Emil had, right? Kind of like an inferiority complex, for the most part. But then, obviously he matured and got past that, right? Anyway, I don't know exactly what he means by that, though, because technically the events of the Siren or whatever didn't actually happen. So, what does that mean in real life? I don't know. But it's also scary. Back then, everything made so much more sense. Things were simple. They had a system. A violent one, sure, but a damn efficient one. Now, though... Alright, so I believe we're good. You have my gratitude for cleaning up. Here are the answers. Do these look right to you? Yeah, there's only one other time in his life that Ash has been this afraid. Do you like sharks? Pardon. There's a new shark exhibit at the aquarium. My guy there says they got some nice ones too. Great whites from Australia, big fuckers. Wanna check it out? Ashton can feel the boat sailing on his bloodstream begin to, I'm reading that wrong. Ashton can feel the boat sailing on his bloodstream begin to tip a little. Even so, he keeps his focus. Emil looks down their chemistry assignment, and Ashton rapidly signs his name on the top of it, keeping his eyes fixed on his friend the entire time. I love sharks. Fascinating creatures, really. Did you know that some shark embryos actually cannibalize each other while in the womb? Emil's voice peaks at the end of his little factoid of his. As it does, a pair of chatty girls at the table behind him begin snickering at each other. Ashton shoots them a threatening gaze, closing their chirping, annoying throats instantly. Ah yes, the JoJo way, the Jotaro Kujo way of telling girls to shut up or whatever. Anyway, nah, I didn't know that. Sick. So we're going then. Of course, it sounds fascinating. There are whale sharks too, by any chance? I've always wanted to see a set of gill rakers up close. Hell yeah, there are. Ashton has no idea if this is actually true. Okay, and unless a past version of himself scoping out the aquarium counts, there's no guy giving him insider information about the exhibit. He gets up from the table and begins making his way out of the classroom. I'll meet you at the usual spot then. Later, bro. Ashton leaves before Emil has a chance to question him any further. As he makes his way to the nearest empty bathroom, Ashton feels the bubble in his throat begin to tip over. Fancy toilet, it has the controls, like those Japanese toilets. But he doesn't vomit like he thought he would. He holds on to this clammy, helpless feeling he has. Surely, letting go of such a powerful thing is an obvious waste. He's going to need all the help he can get after all. The inside of the school's clinic is annoyingly sterile. Unsurprisingly, the nurse is nowhere to be seen. Ash throws himself down on an empty mattress and sighs. He stares at the spongy, off-white ceiling, the reality of what just happened creeping over his brain like a cloud of toxic gas. There's no way this is gonna end well. A familiar figure peeks out from behind the curtain of an adjacent bed. Ash? Hey, what's happening, champ? Violet Marie Lawrence pops up from the springy bed frame and playfully pokes her friend in the gut. Oh, hey, Violet. Ashton turns his bed back to the ceiling and resumes his brooding. Any idea where the nurse is? Laura? She's just up on the roof smoking her pre-lunch joint. She'll be back in a few, no worries. Ashton looks his friend over for any obvious injuries. You, doing good then? Yep, I'm absolutely peachy. Don't worry, I'm only here because I dropped some of my lamecto down the sink. So I need Laura to pull some from my emergency reserves here at the school so I don't die. That's all. So, but what about you? Are you actually sick? I fucking better be. I don't know how smart it is for me to stay at school for the rest of the day. I get that. Pretty obvious that the staff has no idea what to do with us now that the finals are over. Don't blame you for being bored. It's not that. Bored is nothing. I've been bored most of my life. I just feel like I'm gonna do something stupid if I'm here much longer. Violet sits next to her friend on the bed. Ash, what's going on? Nothing. Oh, okay, my mistake. Come on, bud, talk to me. I'm happy to listen if you're willing to share. Plus, I'm pretty bored myself, if you couldn't tell. And I promise whatever you got going on is more interesting than that Texas-shaped hole in the ceiling. Help a girl out. Ashton sits up in the bed and hugs his knees. He does a quick look around the room to make sure it's empty. Promise you'll keep your mouth shut about this. Like, that you won't tell the others? I'll take your secrets with me to the grave. I don't know, anyway. That dark. You have my word. I asked Emil out in chemistry class. What? No, you didn't. Really great listening you're doing there, Shrink. Elaborate then. We're going to the aquarium after school. And I'm gonna buy him dinner there too. And then, I don't know. Does he know about all that then? No, I'm gonna surprise him. He's gonna be all ready to pay for his meal and shit, but I'm gonna beat him to the punch and pay for all in advance. I'm gonna get our check early when I go to the bathroom. It's gonna be so slick. No, I mean, does he know that this is a date? Does that matter? You know why it matters, Ashton. He devoutly balls up a nearby pair of alcohol wipes and tosses them into the trash can. That's a waste of alcohol wipes, I don't know. Yeah, I know. You don't gotta be so cruel about it, though. Sorry. It's just, I'm pretty sure he's not gay, champ. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What's going on? Okay, this is the true mystery here. What's going on with Emil and Ashton? You know, this is the true story. No shit. Knowing my luck, I wouldn't be his type anyway. Like, I'm not a mind reader or anything, but I don't think this is gonna go the way you want it to. Ashton lets out a frustrated chuckle. Joke's on you. I have no idea how I wanted to go anyway. That's kind of the problem then, buddy. Ashton rubs the side of his head in frustration. Are you gonna tell him then? I don't know, maybe. Now you got me doubting myself a little. Oh shit, really? No, I already kinda was, not gonna lie. But I don't like the idea of Emil not knowing. It doesn't feel real, it's annoying. But I don't want to scare him away either. Then I think it's important you ask yourself why you're even doing this to begin with. I'm not saying you shouldn't tell him, just make sure you understand what your goal is. Because that's kind of a big deal at the end of the day. What were you after then? What ended up pushing you over the edge? Like with Oliver and stuff. Well, it was his butt. Bullshit. Like 2 loaves of freshly baked bread stuffed into a denim grocery bag. Very doughy. There's no way you actually think that. You never noticed? Can't say I have, sorry. Well, I give you permission to validate my claim next chance you get. I think I'm fine on that one, thanks. Good try, though. I respect the effort. Effort should always follow passion. And I'm a very passionate person. All artists are. I bet. Look, just don't give up. Or just don't give up, alright? Tonight could go freaking great. You don't even know. But that greatness starts with you knowing why you want to fight this battle of yours in the first place. What would need to happen to make you feel like it's worth the risk? If you can figure that one out, then you'll be unstoppable, I promise. Because it's not always about butts. You don't say. Butts are a factor, but they aren't everything. Butts aren't everything. Remember that. I think she has a butt fetish. This is weird. The door to the clinic slams open awkwardly. The crowded jewel of Siren's call has returned. That new perfume, Laura. You smell great. Ashton gets a sick note and shuffles on back to his house. He can't help but feel as if this problem of meal was more entertainment than anything for Violet. Even so, her bizarre, uncomfortable advice sticks with him for some reason. After freshening up, Ashton makes his way back over to the school. As the final bell of the day rings out, streams and streams of chatty high schoolers drift on by. Mio's the only one of them that doesn't seem to walk tall. Even now, he walks the same way he walked back in elementary school, as if a part of him has already given up on something. He looks tired. That is until he sees a person waiting for him in front of Violet's locker. Ashton can practically hear the crackle of Mio's spine straightening as he walks on over to him. You weren't at lunch today. Not falling back on those old habits of yours again, aren't you? Are you? Don't worry about it. Well, as long as you're still able to graduate. I'm not dumb enough to throw my freedom away like that, Emil. Judy did the math for me. My grades are safe. Me not being here for 5 more periods of bullshit was a smart move, I promise. I guess I won't pry then. Like you said, I'm sure you have your reasons. It's just that, even if the lessons themselves are getting rather stale, the structure of going to school every day is still quite valuable. It makes good preparation for what lays ahead of us after graduation, wouldn't you say? Who's the one with the actual job again? Fair enough. Nah, we're gonna be fine, dude. Don't sweat it. School or no school, you're no stranger to busting your ass. It could be the end of the goddamn world and you still find a way to make things feel normal again. It's really kind of... I mean, you know, I didn't say that. I'm not gay. No, Ashton looks around and remembers that the two of them are alone. He takes a second or two to collect himself. It's becoming increasingly hard to keep these lingering thoughts of him, of his, from slipping out. Each day feels more and more dishonest than the last. It's beginning to take its toll. Yes, it's a bit corny, I suppose. Still, I honestly believe that sense of normalcy is worth striving for. That desire for order is what separates us from the beasts of this world, after all. And aquariums are a great reminder of that fact. Yeah, totally. I love people and order and stuff. Naturally. After a short walk, the two arrive at their destination, the pricey new aquarium in the center of town. While Siren's Call has been a popular tourist destination for decades, more and more elaborate initiatives to draw in capital have been set into motion over the past few years. The aquarium, complete with its own restaurant and water park, is the local government's most recent attempt at this, the success of which has been absolutely insane. One bad hurricane, this place is gonna tumble like a house of cards, I swear. Dome is a bit excessive. I can't say that word. The dome is a bit excessive, I'll give you that. You can't argue with results, though. Watch me. Like, money's great, but they're gonna sink the damn island if they keep building crap like this, Emil. And weren't you the one that wanted to come here? Look, one aquarium is fine. But if they put another grid of condos on the north side of the island, I'm gonna start a war. I didn't realize you were such an environmentalist. Well, I didn't realize giving a shit about where you live got you such a fancy title. At first, Ashton was pretty bad at holding his own against Emil's retorts. But soon, these little scuffles of theirs became yet another comfortable, pleasant part of his own daily routine. Even just being around Emil made him feel so much more intelligent than he used to feel. At the very least, he had become a better listener. He needed to be, after all, if he was going to fire back properly. All the small talk in the world isn't going to make today any easier, though. What if tonight really is going to be the point of no return? There's a very real chance Emil doesn't know, right?
He doesn't know. Pepe laughed.
As smart as he is, he's not the most observant guy on the planet. And even if Violet doesn't care about Ashton's sexuality, that doesn't mean the others won't. What if he becomes the black sheep again? He worked so hard to get where he was with everyone, to undo the stigma of being such a bully. Would a Puritan like Judith or a blunt, calculating man like Emil still see him as a friend after they found who he really is? I'm just thinking about Judith. Be gone, demon! No, how's he even supposed to know what these guys hate? Hey bud, would you still hang out with me if I was gay? Isn't exactly something that just comes out in conversation. Maybe Emil will think it's just another prank, like he's trying to bully him again. Or even worse. What if, at the end of the day, he's just lonely? What if this is no different than how it was for Violet? He can't say he's never thought of Emil that way. So, if that's all there is to this, if that's what's pushing him over the edge, what would he realistically have left after today? Nothing. He'll have nothing. Absolutely nothing. No friends, no mom, no future. Just him and his dad, alone again. Alone forever. That's a meme. Anyway. Oh, there they are. You're right, Ash. Those whale sharks are truly marvelous. Damn right they are. Thankfully, the aquarium actually has whale sharks. Well, that's one less problem to deal with, it seems. So that's definitely a whale shark then. Of course. And the rakers on this one are so uniform too. It really is amazing how they're gifted with exactly what they need to survive. If those feeding systems were off by even a bit, I promise the whale shark would have died out ages ago. Guess that's pretty lucky then, huh? I doubt luck is much of a factor. It's more evolution than anything. But in a romantic sort of way, yes, it's rather lucky. Two of them stare at the sharks together in a comfortable, friendly silence. Why do you like them, though? Didn't you get bit by a shark last summer when you were hanging out with Andy? You keep saying stuff like they're fascinating or whatever, but that doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Is that so? I'm not trying to be a dick, but I just feel like every kid growing up in Central Florida thinks sharks are cool at some point in their life. And you're not a kid anymore, so I'm curious. I see. Emil moves a bit closer to the glass. He slowly brings up his hand and begins following one of the larger sharks with his eyes. Truth be told, I'm more fond of dolphins. They're brilliant creatures. Social, cunning, surprisingly deadly. If they had a pair of thumbs and the means to walk on land, they very well might have become the dormant species at some point. You think? Well, I'm no scientist, of course. I can barely get my homework done in a timely manner. But it certainly seems possible. They have the brains to make it happen after all. With sharks, however, they have to work so much harder. Dolphins already have everything they need to survive efficiently, but sharks are different. A shark doesn't have the tools really to make sense of the world like dolphins do. So they have no choice but to use their mouths to solve whatever problems they have. That bite I got last summer was more of a nibble than anything. As painful as it was, I doubt the action itself had any malice behind it. More times than not, sharks are the victims of malice, not the progenitors of it. They get bullied all the time, not just by dolphins, but humans as well. Most aren't even allowed the luxury of sleep. Wait, they don't sleep? How is that even possible? Well, they don't sleep in the traditional sense. They enter a period of slight rest, but they never actually stop moving. Stopping would mean no water moving through their gills, and no oxygen means certain death. There are some exceptions, of course, but on the whole, your average shark is moving forward its entire life. I admire that, I suppose. Dolphins are better in every conceivable way of, sure. The sharks have to work so hard and so have so little to show for it. And I think that's worthy of my respect. Plus, Emil hesitates for a bit. Much like you implied,
I suppose there's still some childish part of me that thinks they're cool. That's just a pathetic holdover from my days as a boy, though, nothing more. I hate when you talk about yourself that way, Emil. What? There's nothing pathetic about thinking something's cool. Everybody and their mom knows that sharks are fucking cool. And if someone gives you crap for that, they aren't worth your time anyway. Some people think they're hot shit for not giving a damn about anything. But you don't have to be one of those dumb assholes. You're already better than that. I think it's nice you get so excited about stuff. So, keep it up. You're doing great. Okay, keep it up. You're doing great. Ashton can feel the dam in his heart begin to break. More than ever before, the reality of his situation feels inevitable. But he can just wait a little bit longer. Then he might have enough time to figure out why he's doing something so stupid in the first place. I'm not so sure about that. After all, I can always do better. Dude. Never mind me, though. I've been talking far too long about myself. And conversations between friends should be reciprocal. You have a great white tooth on your necklace. Is that your favorite shark by any chance? Nah, I like hammerheads. Goofy looking guys, yeah, but still really cool. This tooth, it belongs to my mom. Ah, I see. I haven't had a chance to meet her yet. What is she like? Kind of like Andy, I guess. Big jock of a woman. Used to surf all the time, my dad and me. Well, I guess it's more like we used to surf with her. Of course. She always taught me to go for the big waves, even when I was just starting out. She was just that kind of person. Then one day, she randomly pushed me into this weak low wave with no explanation at all. Ashton lightly grips the necklace in his hand. This is what they found stuck in her leg after she washed up on shore. Good lord. I never knew. It's okay. It wasn't for a while, yeah, but I'm good now. I'm sorry you had to put up the kid that shark created. That kid's dead now, though. Don't worry. He died. Yeah, about 2 years ago. It's fine. People die all the time. It hurts, but you gotta keep going forward. Just like you said. See? You're already doing great. But cut that self-deprecating shit out, man. You're better than that. You're so much better than that. Well, the rest of the night is spent in abject silence. At dinner, Ashton pays for the check in secret. After sliding the waiter the rest of the money he got a few days ago from Judith, the staff makes up something about their meal being on the house. Okay? So somehow convince the waiter to do that, I guess. But I guess, yeah, it's funny, yeah, because Ashton did get paid for his bodyguard duties, you know? Emil seems uncharacteristically accepting of this, and the two shuffle on out of the aquarium. Shortest way back home is down the beach, right? Yes. You okay, man? I'm fine. I just need to take off my shoes if we're going that way. I'm not a fan of cleaning sand out of my socks. Gotcha. The remnants of the aquarium's water park bleed onto the Atlantic like some kind of infection. Ash remembers a time where all you could see from this beach was the beautiful horizon, surfers peppering the cresting waves, and the gentle drifting of sailboats behind them. Now, there's only whatever the hell this is. He feels a pit in his stomach as they walk down the beach. I'm sorry, by the way. Emil's soft voice behind him breaks the silence of the night like a hammer. I had no idea about what happened to your mother. But that is no excuse. I've known you for 2 years. Even longer if you count the time we spent together back in elementary school. That doesn't count. Even so, I should have known. Judith would have known. Goodness, I'm probably the only one in our group that didn't. The honest truth is that it simply never occurred to me. To say I'm ashamed of my ignorance would be an understatement. So I'm sorry. I'll try and be more perceptive going forward, I promise. Ashton can feel the dam in his heart break open. The bolt that's been bobbing up and down his bloodstream
all day finally capsizes. But in that moment, there's a surprising amount of clarity. He knows exactly why he needs to do this. I've been in love with you for 2 years, Emil. And before you can find some clever Emil patenting way to spin that around to something it's not, I mean romantically. Any questions? That was a very blunt way to say that. A few seconds pass. Ashton puts his hand in his pocket and keeps his gaze focused on Emil. Why? Why on earth are you saying that? Because I'm getting fucking sick of you pretending like you aren't the coolest dude in Siren's call. Don't freak out. I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to get us to be anything. I already know that's not going to happen. But it's not all about butts. But it's not all about butts. Butts? Sometimes you just gotta let someone know what's real. And you're cool enough for someone to be in love with you. Even if that somebody is just a nobody like me. No, I mean... Yes, that's all very important, I'm sure, but... But why love? Are you sure that's the right word? Yes. It can't be. I know what words mean, Emil. Apparently not. Why would you love me? It doesn't make any sense. Why is that the first place your brain goes to? Ashton's voice peaks into a freight spiral of desperation and rage. You think I'm not serious right now? Who fucked with your head bad enough to make something that's been eating away at me for 2 years seem like some kind of damn prank? She be getting girls pouring their hearts out to you like this every single day of your life easily. Oh, please, don't placate me with such absurd statements. Compared to someone like Judith, I'm basically nothing. The only thing notable about me is how hard I try. At least you do try. You want to play dolphins and sharks like this? Then fine. Judith hasn't worked hard for a damn thing in her entire fucking life. Excuse me. It takes no skill to sit upon a pile of clout and money like Judith does and rise into the sunset. She's your friend, Ashton. So are you, damn it. It doesn't matter if you're like Judith or not, because the effort you put in to keep going and going is the most amazing thing about you. I want to be like you so badly. So when you shit talk yourself like that, it's like you're mocking everything I'm trying so hard to become. Back at the start of high school, your presence was living proof that I was a lazy piece of shit. All your hard work was proof that I was doing nothing with my life after my mom died. I couldn't move forward anymore. So, like the dumb asshole I was, I took all that shit out on you. But no matter how much I pushed you around, you never stopped trying your best. It got to me. It got to me really bad. So yeah, you win. Your way of doing stuff is better. It always has been. Now I want to be more like you than any other person in the whole stinking world. Weird, right? I don't know what to say. That's a first. Don't worry, you don't have to hang out with me anymore. I understand shit's awkward for you now. But I just want to let you know that how things really are. I've learned a lot from you, so I'm okay if this is the end of our friendship. Because, thanks to you, I've got a pretty good idea of the kind of man I want to be when I grow up. So be happy, Emil. You deserve it, after all. More than anyone I know, you deserve it. And that's a fact. No, it's not. Okay, why? Because it's an opinion. Okay, it's freaking pedantic about it. But, yeah, I'm being pedantic. That's the first time I think anybody has ever given me an actual compliment. God, I fucking hate people. Is that really true? Like, really, really true? Actually, no, now that I think about it, there's been one other time. Andy did say something great yesterday. She said she was jealous of me, I think. She said she never thought she'd see the day she was actually jealous of me. A light goes off in Ashton's head. Hey, there you go then, stud. Now, wait just a minute. You know Andy and Judy are twins. Might be easier for you to make the switch than you think. Just go for the twin instead. Especially if you're a face guy. You're starting to sound like Violet. Good, that little gremlin knows her shit. Seriously, call her pretty sometime, dude. It might end up working out for you. Me and Andy.
Wouldn't that upset you in some way? Look, I'm just happy to be here, Emil. I don't understand. You're not gonna try to woo me or anything. Do you want me to? Not particularly, no. Then we're good. Easy as pie. There's no way it's that easy. I'll keep you updated. Not like I got much more to hide from you at this point. You really think Andy and I will be good together? No clue. Honestly, it's kind of depressing for me to think about, not gonna lie. Right, of course. But I promise she'd treat you better than her sister would. Why do you say that? Just a feeling. You and Andy are both kind of tryhards at the end of the day. At the very least, it'd be funny to watch. Like an old Shakespearean comedy. She could be the Beatrice to your Benedict. Were you actually paying attention in English class this year? Guess so. Does that surprise you? You know what? No, it doesn't. Not anymore, at least. And you deserve to be happy too, Ashton. I'm just sorry there's not more I can actually do. Hey man, you do plenty. Are you going to be okay though? I freaking hope so. But are we good? Well, I suppose if you're gonna keep me updated, then I should do the same. But for now, yes. At least I hope we are. Please know that I truly do value what we have. But this is a rather unique situation, I'd say. I don't really know how I feel about it yet. But even so, I wouldn't trade our friendship for anything. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to accomplish something quite rare by still being friends after such a confession. Would you mind if we keep the details of this discussion between us for the time being, though? Yeah, Violet kind of gave me a little pep talk before today. Violet. Violet knows? We talk about stuff like this every now and then. Does that bother you? No, not at all. There's just a lot I wasn't seeing, it seems. But it might be better this way. If we run into any problems, she can act as a confidant, of course, of sorts. Confident? I say that word, I don't know. You know, person that you speak to, secretly. Her and Andy are rather close after all. Oh yeah? Not like I'm considering such a thing, of course. No, of course you're not. You're in love with Judas because of reasons. Yes. Reasons like... That's a bit private, I'm afraid. Gotcha. You do your thinking then, Emil. I'll see you at school, alright? I look forward to it. Ashton breathes a sigh of relief. And thank you for the kind words. As new as all this is, I want you to know I'm grateful for those words at the very least. I'm grateful too, man. Go for gold, alright? But remember, you're already golden. That weight in your back might be heavy, but it's the weight of 1,000 gold medals. Ash extends his fist forward and punches Emil lightly in the shoulder. So walk tall, killer. Emil gives a decisive nod. Naturally. And you stay cool, Ashton. Good night. Emil walks up the boardwalk towards his house. As he moves up the stairs, Ash sees Emil's body stand up straight against the darkness. He collapses in the sand and breathes another sigh of relief. He closes his eyes and listens to the sound of the waves. Good job, kid, says some random passerby. And instead of fixating on what you want him to be, you acknowledge the reality of who he is and face it head on. Something like that takes a lot of guts. Oh. But now we need to talk about the real problem here, okay? It was Miss Lawrence? Real problem? What was that? Okay, alright. Kind of ominous. Anyway, so that was Ash and Emil. Alright, so at the end of the day, they didn't really get, with each other. It was just a chain of unrequited love, by the way. It's like, I remember, I think I said this before, but it really was the case where, what was it? It was Andy had a crush on Ashton, but was rejected. Ashton has a crush on Emil, but was rejected. Emil has a crush on Judith, but was rejected.
Judith has a crush on Oliver, but was rejected. And then Oliver and Violet were together. But Violet dies! So it all balances out. What? Anyway. Step 1, apparently. Step 1, 2, and 3, and 4? Are these like one big story arc, I guess? Is the idea, maybe? I mean, alright. Alright. Let's go to step 1, I guess. Whatever that means. Let's find out. A sure piercing bell signals the approach of lunchtime for seniors. Violet skips out the clinic and into the crowded hall. She's seconds away from snapping on her helmet before seeing a familiar face. Oh, hey there, Prudy, what's crackin'? Judith's heels click aggressively against a linoleum of the hallway. She brings her right foot up just enough to pivot around and trust the voice behind her. Oh dear, Violet, the clinic? You must have stumbled face first into the oyster bed, you poor thing. Lucky that they stitched you up just in time for lunch, huh? Super lucky. You want to trade luck with me for a year or two by any chance? Or by actually, this is just straight brains. Come on, you have tons of fun, I promise. No thanks. I'm not a fan of taking things that aren't mine. I'd be more than happy to take you to the cafeteria though if you like. I get to eat with royalty? Hot damn, today really is my lucky day. And don't you forget it. Alright. And she's following them ominously. Step 1, identify the problem. Okay. What's this all about? What? Okay. Huh, pretty short, so I guess it's all just like one thing maybe, I don't know. Step 2. Judith makes her way into Miss Lawrence's office. Hi. Take a seat, Judith. Look, I have some errands I need to run for student council. So whatever this is, can we please try and make it quick? The speed at which we get this done depends entirely on you. Judith sits down on the couch and crosses her legs. Last I checked, you weren't part of the disciplinary staff. And as a speech therapist, you lack the jurisdiction to summon me anywhere. You understand that, right? I'm not here to talk to you as a public servant, Judith. Oh. So what's this about then? Did I do something wrong, Miss Lawrence? There's just this one little thing I need to confirm really quick. Regarding what exactly? Regarding the little adventure you went on with Ashton last Sunday. I haven't the faintest idea what you're referring to. Miss Lawrence spins the laptop on her desk towards Judith and shows her the screen. On that screen is footage of Ashton body slamming an easel in the art room. Judith watches placidly in the corner. I thought the school's cameras are broken. Well, the old ones are. Doesn't mean there are temporary systems in place to keep track of our students until the ones get fixed. There are plenty of staff here that care deeply about your safety. Myself included. Why didn't I know about this then? Well, we have the right to keep some things private if it means protecting our students. Students like you. So mind explaining what's happening here? What? Ashton attacking some old art supplies counts as an adventure now. If this is about destruction of school property, I can just buy a new easel. I don't mind paying for his mistake. He's my friend after all. Did you order Ash to destroy school property, Judith? Yes or no? Be honest, because I already know the answer. Judith scans her accuser's face for any hint of deception. When did you talk with him? Last night. Please answer my question. Yes. It was more of a joke than anything, though. I didn't think you would actually do it. Miss Lawrence pinches the bridge of her nose and sighs. Do you realize the kind of power they actually have over people? I'm sorry. You're a very talented person, Miss Helvig. But nobody gets to where you are nobody gets to where you're at on talent alone. You're the president of the student council because your fellow students voted for you. And you'll be the valedictorian because even though there are 7 other people in the school that have the exact same GPA, you're the one with the most charm. Charm is hardly a factor. That's not true. Just look at Emil. What about him?
He's had a 4.0 GPA since first grade. And somehow, he's never been allowed the same extracurricular opportunities as you, despite all of his hard work. I work plenty hard too, thank you very much. I'm not saying you don't. That's not why people listen to you. That's not why Ashton destroyed that easel for you without even questioning it. Ashton is responsible for his own actions. He's also kind of dumb, because he took it literally. And so are you. You have power over people, Judith. Literally, you have supernatural powers. You have, I don't know, what do you call that? Like mind control? No, but you're acting like you don't, and it concerns me. Either you aren't aware that most people will gladly throw themselves in front of a train for you, because you max out their social link, I guess, and they will literally die for you. Or you're completely aware and just don't give a shit. I care about my friends more than you can even fathom. Really? Because despite your sister's amazing scholarship opportunities and Emil's obvious genius, neither of them are choosing to go to college. Ever wonder why that is? Maybe because college is a giant scam? Scam or not, you need a degree if you're gonna work at NASA. I have a plan for that, don't worry. A plan? Does that plan involve my future son-in-law by any chance? Future son-in-law? Judith's left eye twitches. Eye twitching. What did you just say to me? You know, there are steps every mother can take to protect their kids from predatory behavior. I'll do whatever I need to make sure my kids are safe. Is that a threat? Not at all. I just hope whatever that plan of yours ends up being based in reality. Because Violet and Oliver are leaving Siren's Call in 3 months, Judith. And if Andy or Emil or Ashton feel like they want to leave too, then they have the power to do that. They don't need your permission. Judith slowly gets off the couch, keeping eye contact with Miss Lawrence the entire time. Here's a fun idea. Why don't you mind your own fucking business? Ooh, no. Judith turns on a dime and struts toward the door. And reality check, you're nobody's mother. Stop acting like it. Step 2, confirm your suspicions. Okay. I don't know what this is building up to be honest. But I guess it does show a bit of backstory in terms of like the ideas that Oliver and Violet were going to go to college together. That was the initial plan before she died, but you know. So yeah, so that was what it was initially planned anyway, right? And everybody was going to leave, I guess, right? Or well, I mean, they said didn't. No. Well, what's her face? I already forgot. Miss Lawrence. Miss Lawrence said the Emil and Ashton, wasn't Andy? Can't remember. But they aren't going to college, right? Yeah, they aren't going to college. And the implication is that maybe Judith is like trying to keep them in Siren's Call. Is that what it is? Because she's actually the leader. You know, it's funny how Oliver was the one in most of the game in his headspace. Well, he was the leader, but the real captain was actually Judith. You know, she was the real protagonist here. You know, in real life. There you go. So apparently she has the leadership qualities and the charisma to like influence other people's decisions, and that's what she was getting. Kind of weird way to approach it. I don't know. Is that as if she has some kind of supernatural power or something? But I don't know. She's just nice, at least for the most part. Anyway, I guess she can get pretty offensive if she gets mad though. I guess, which I actually find very interesting. You know, I wish it was more explored in the actual game. Because we do get a bit of a dark side a little bit, right? Here and there, but it wasn't really the main focus, I feel like, in the game. Except maybe that one part, where she supposedly drugs us. But then, I don't know. It's cheapened again because everything was just a dream. So, it's like, I don't know. But enough complaining about that. Let's continue. So, step 3 was it? Yeah, step 3 now. Judith sits at her desk and looks over the list in front of her. For the past 2 days, she's been efficiently and thoroughly cutting through it, a column with check marks consistently peppering the left margin. Most of the tasks have been simple enough, and so she's been making an effort since Thursday to do as many of them by herself as humanly possible. You couldn't just like make this a lot faster with like a computer, maybe like do it on a computer. I guess this is like 2011 though. I mean, that's like 10 years ago. 11 years ago, actually. I don't know. I mean, computers existed like 11 years ago, right?
I don't remember that. I don't have context for technology anymore. Technology has evolved so fast. I don't know. Like 10 years ago, did really have the same technology? Because I was just thinking like, at least for the, I think this is reference to the voting anyway. Like you could probably do that electronically, right? But anyway, all that's left is to go in town and gather the required materials for graduation itself. She sits up and reaches towards the ceiling with both hands. After 3 hours of being hunched over doing paperwork and making calls, the cords of muscles in her arms and back are unusually stiff. Need a massage, my queen? No, I don't want to bother you. It's okay. It's not like I'm doing anything important. Andy leaps up gleefully from her seat on the bed. She walks over and begins rubbing the sore part of her sister's back. Judith aggressively shakes her head back and forth. Please don't. Andy's hands move sheepishly away from Judith's body. The pain is an important part of this. What? You aren't always going to be there to rub my back whenever it gets sore, so I need a good reason to make it stronger. It's not like you have any back problems after all. Well, yeah. After the twins move in, it was adapt or die. But, ain't all sunshine and rainbows looking like this. Shut up, you're still gorgeous. I should have started exercising you after middle school. I should have followed your lead. You're too pretty for that. Honestly, it was kind of dumb for me to offer in the first place. No, it was a smart thing to do. It was very, very smart. And kind. So I should have done it. Well, you were busy. Everybody's busy, that's no excuse. Okay, seriously, what happened, sis? Get that graduation's coming up and you got shit to do, but you've been acting really, really off lately. It's starting to freak me out. Judith feels something heavy under her eyes. She cups her hands over her face. A muffled sob escapes from under the fabric of her pillow. Why aren't you going to college? You could go basically anywhere you want for free, so why aren't you? Am I holding you back? Be honest, am I holding you back? Oh, don't be stupid. There's not a force on there strong enough to keep me down. A weird, aggressive feeling spins around in Judith's gut. Why are you talking to me like that? I'm not some stranger in a locker room at school. I'm your sister. I'm proud of what you built, but can't you go back to being the person I grew up with just 5 seconds? Because I just want to know why. I need to know why you're staying here, where you can go anywhere you want. Is it my fault? Andy just stares at her sister for a second. After a bit, she shuffles over to the bed and sits down next to her. She wraps her arms around Judith's back and pulls her in gently. It's not just you, okay? Yeah, I want to make sure my little sister is safe, but the truth is your family. Even if I've moved to like India or something, I'm always going to be there for you. I'm always going to come home. Siren's Call is my home, Judith. And there's other people that I love who live here. So I have everything I could ever want. That's why I don't want to leave yet. It's not just you. I promise. Judith hugs her sister back, but her eyes drift towards the open window. We all need to leave home eventually. Sure. But we deserve some time off after 12 grades of bullshit, right? We'll figure something out. No. No? No, we won't. You're right. Siren's Call is our home. That's only because we already have everything we could ever want on this little island of ours. There's nothing left for us to figure out because everything's already perfect for us. I don't know how you feel about that, but... Judith swallows nervously. But I don't want that to change. Judith, I need to get out of here. Please don't follow me. I need to be alone right now. Judith grabs her keys off the desk and rushes out of the room. As she does, Emil and Ashton walk in the house. Oh, this is awkward. Hey guys. Good afternoon, Judith. We came a couple minutes early. Hope that's okay. Errors are cancelled, boys. You don't need to go into town with me. You're free to do whatever you like with your day off. So you don't need our help? Nope, I could do it myself. I just don't want to ruin your Saturday. Pardon? There's sweet tea and cookies in the fridge. You guys have fun, alright? Please, just have fun. Judith throws herself out the door. Yes, I feel like now this is when I feel like Miss Lawrence is the villain because she's just a manipulated Judith into being paranoid about her supernatural charisma now, assuming that she even has any. I don't know. Anyway, Judith throws herself out the door. The aggressive hum of her van's motor shatters the stagnant floor of air. She's just in a van. She just drives around. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I guess you get your driver's license. How old again? I don't remember. I don't know. I just don't think teenagers can just drive cars. But like, I guess they can. I don't know. I don't know what the age is. Wasn't it like? Well, I know in Canada, I mean, drinking age is 21, right? So I don't know. Anyway, the family stands there, listens as she drives away. The violence of her actions fading from their eyes and ears like smoke. But ultimately, nobody says a goddamn thing. Yeah, Judith cradles 2 massive spools of fabric under her arms and walks towards the van. In the end, it is the random slickness of the fabric itself that ultimately causes one of them to escape her grasp. Several people on the sidewalk jump in shock at the sound of something so heavy hitting the concrete. Even so, they all quickly resume their walking. Judith resists the urge to scream and silently pops open the back of her van. She shoves the taller spool through the gap in the trunk and in the front seat before allegedly chasing after the other one. She sees a happy family in the distance. Ah yes, a happy family. But Judith doesn't say anything. And so she plots to murder. Right, I mean, what? Well, her voice, she's fairly weak. She's another pretty face in the ever-growing sea of wonderful people. And so absolutely nothing happens. The rest of the day is plain and uneventful. Step 3. Create the ideal environment for success. What are these steps? Okay, so it's like, what was it? Like, step 1 is, like, identify the problem. Step 2 is confirm your suspicions, was it? I can't remember. Confirm your something. Step 3, create the perfect environment for success? What are these steps? What does it mean? Anyway, step 4. May 12th, the end. I learned something early on when I became a speech therapist. The entire point of language is to manipulate and change the world around you. Not in an evil way, of course. Because, at the end of the day, language is life itself. When you want something to actually change, the most efficient way to make that happen is to just say something. And when you want things to stay the same, you just shut your mouth and let it happen. It seems so obvious, of course, maybe even a tad mundane. That's why babies learn to call out for their parents so quickly. After all, a good parent is supposed to provide, give you life. And so, even a wordless, toothless child slowly begins to master the art of asking. Because asking for food and water and such means survival. And every child deserves a chance to live. Well, I mean, not to be morbid, but I'm just thinking about babies who never really learned to do that, I guess, you know? There's certain, mental illnesses out there, or I don't know what you call them, but, certain disabilities, I guess, which kind of affect your speech. So some babies don't learn to actually ask for food and water, and it's just kind of sad. But anyway, every child deserves a chance to live. Everybody deserves a chance to communicate. So when Oliver started speaking more, when he started self-advocating and fighting back against his real parents, in a way, it felt like I had saved someone's life. Maybe that was vain of me. But if language really is that powerful, if language is life, then silence is pretty damn close to death itself, isn't it? Things are just fine the way they are. I should do nothing. I don't want this to change. Those are the kind of things that silence really says. This is why when I saw my daughter put on her graduation cap this afternoon, instead of her helmet, I said absolutely nothing. Why the hell should she be the only one who doesn't get to wear a cap and gown? Why should Valley be forced to miss out after having worked so hard? The change happens whether we like it or not. In the end, no matter how powerful language is, it can't control everything. In the end,
Silence always wins. Silence takes everything from us. With shaking hands, Miss Lawrence begins pouring herself a glass of water. She drinks it down, if only to erase the dryness in her mouth, and collapses into a nearby chair. Judith falls on the floor in front of Violet's mother. She postures herself on the carpet before collapsing to a sobbing, fetal mess at Miss Lawrence's feet. Please tell me what to do. There's 1,000 things I could have done to make graduation a safe place for her. All I saw was... I love her so much, Judy. I promise you I loved her so much. She was my friend. She meant the world to me. Even if it meant being alone, I wanted her to be happy. Promise. I wanted everyone to be happy. I wanted to help her. I wanted to protect your daughter. Can't imagine what you're feeling right now, but just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'll dive off the bridge into an oyster bed. I'll throw myself in a trash compactor with a smile on my face. I'll... Stop talking. Another dead kid isn't gonna fix a damn thing. Besides, you're right. I'm nobody's mother. I just really wanted to be. But we all want things. So congrats, you win. You get what you want and I don't. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Live your life. There, I told you what to do. Now get the fuck out of my house. Oop. Step 4. Hope for the best. Okay. A set of little moments following the members of the Midnight Guard. Ah, happy music. Anyway. Okay, kind of ends like kind of dark, but like, I don't know what those steps actually mean, but I should know what's a reference to that. But, I mean, obviously the last scene there is after Violet died, right? And obviously things about, her not wearing a helmet, and not setting the graduation ceremony at the beach, and everything. What I was wondering about is like what Miss Lawrence meant with Judith's plan with Oliver, right? Was it really the case where it was implied that she would be a homewrecker and try to make them break up or whatever? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Because I know that obviously the implication here is that Judith obviously wanted to be with Oliver, right? But I don't know. I have no idea. At the end of the day, though, I think Judith also wanted, like, she just wanted Oliver to be happy, so she didn't really pursue him or something. I don't know. So, like, that was just her, like, apologizing to Miss Lawrence that she didn't plan on making her daughter, didn't plan on breaking up Oliver and Violet in the first place. She wasn't planning on doing that, even though she could, or something like that. I don't know. A little vague there. But anyway, I guess that's it. So it kind of builds up there, and it's kind of like, it's weird because now there's a lot of tension. Now it was like there's no release. The release is like the ending of the game, but we already saw that, right? So I don't know. I guess we already knew what was going to happen. So after this, is when everyone splits apart. This is when Oliver goes into deep depression, becomes a NEET in Judith's house. Starts writing, but then he wasn't satisfied with the writing, contemplates suicide, attempted suicide, had a really bad drug trip for melatonin, and then wakes up and then gets over it, eventually. Just talking it over to Judith, and then they get over it, I think, for the most part. Anyway. Alright, I think that's it. I don't know. I think that's the game, basically. I did I don't know if I'm gonna show it all, but I basically double checked all the scenes. I got 100%. I got 101%. Got all the gallery pictures. I did the finishing touch. Technically, I'm still missing a journal page for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm still missing a journal page. Not that it really matters. I don't know if I'm gonna show it all. It depends. I guess we'll see. If I put this in the video, I may or may not show it. It's just like a lot, it's just a lot to show, but I may do that. It depends. So there you go. I think I've pretty much explored the game as much as I could.
with all the scenes. I don't know if I'm still missing anything. There might be, again, some very slight variations of some parts, but I think I explored the game as much as I could. You know, all the bonus on the bonus stuff, the finishing touch scenes and everything. So I've I've combed the desert, as much as I could. I've combed the beach, you know? And well, I don't know. My opinion is basically the same. I do feel like though, if there's something I wish that was more explored, definitely, again, was kind of like the dark side, the nightmares of his headspace. Um, because I remember this game is a psychological horror, right? And so I think a big part of the game that was supposed to be showing was his struggle with his condition, right? His condition, as well as obviously Violet's death. I think that there should be more of a tie-in with that. The game, I feel like didn't do much with that, I feel like. At least in my opinion. Most of the game, I feel like, maybe this is just me being ignorant, and this might be even offensive, I don't know, but in most of his dream world, he seems to act really normal for the most part. His little worries, his little anxieties or whatever didn't seem all that unique. It was just like there's nothing that really spoke to his like his internal struggle necessarily. I feel like, I don't know, I guess it doesn't need to be like so on the nose. Hey guys, this guy has autism. It doesn't have to be that obvious, I guess, but I really feel like his struggles again weren't really all that unique. I don't know. I feel like more like I think what it is that a lot of people we interact with are just his friends, right? His friends and stuff like that. But like, because it's a psychological horror game, I wanted more of an antagonist, something more to like challenge him a bit more and more conflict, more. Like for example, it's been said many times that apparently he doesn't like to meet new people, or like he doesn't like to be in a situation where he can't like plan everything ahead of time, or like he doesn't like to not be in control in a social situation. Why don't you show that, right? That'd be something interesting to show, especially if it's represented in the nightmare, And that's why I said about how like maybe we explore the underworld and explore the sirens, instead of like fighting them, we would be talking to them, and we would like kind of like symbolize his anxiety with talking to like strangers in the form of sirens, maybe, and that could like I don't know, something like that, to really just like hammer in the point that that he has his limitations, I guess. He's not like normal all the time in everything. Because as far as we see it, I'm gonna be honest, anytime Oliver's in the scene, and again, it might be because maybe it's because in his dream that everything's perfect, I guess, but I feel like he's just kind of, again, just not normal for the most part. He's not any different at all, really. Just kind of like whatever, But because we were in his headspace, I kind of want to explore more of what happens when things go wrong. That would be more interesting. I also really felt like, again, my hypothesis of this game. Initially, I think it was, I think to me it's more interesting if we actually kept the supernatural elements, and it wasn't just a dream. It was more so like they're like all his friends and he himself are trapped inside their heads and they need to get out, right? And that's the metaphor for the college. That's what I was thinking, but it ended up being kind of like mundane, as I said before, at the end of my playthrough, where they're literally leaving for college. I wanted the leaving for college to be a metaphor, for like leaving like an illusion or something, like a fake world. They're stuck inside a simulation or something. It doesn't have to be literally a sci-fi concept, but something like that would be kind of cool. But no, it's not that at all. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what I felt. I felt like the main character just wasn't challenged enough. There was too many scenes where it's like, meh. I mean, he does argue with his friends sometimes. Kind of works out at the end anyway. That's why I felt Judith was the most interesting one, because she's the one that really just called out on his shit. It only happened a few times though. But yeah. I mean, if there's anything else, I guess that's it. So there you go. That's Siren's Call in its entirety. Overall, again, I like the idea, but I wish
I personally, I wish it went a different direction. You know, I wish it was more either like leaned more into the whole supernatural aspect to it, or just in general, just more conflict. You know, there's not. I feel like there wasn't enough like, you know, like thematic conflict in the story. There were some jump scares, I guess. Like not really jump scares, but there's some creepy scenes, I guess. But that was kind of it. You know, nothing really challenges him. You know, nothing really like freaking like I don't know, like really puts him down. You know, like for the most part, he just has a nice life. You know, it's like he's depressed and all that. I mean, that's fine, but like nothing really like you know, nothing really drives him to be better except himself, which is kind of like not very interesting in my opinion anyway. But there you go. But I guess that's it for Siren's Call. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to put this on a video or not, but I'm assuming I will. So I guess again, thanks for watching. Until next time, see you then.